presidential campaign of Senator John Kerry. Also, Douglas Holt-Eakin, president of American Action Forum, a member of the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission and former senior policy advisor to the John McCain 2008 presidential campaign. Good to see both of you. I'll begin with Michael. It appeared that there was a lot of finger pointing going on here, with a lot of blame going straight at BP, not just from the congressional members there, but also other executives, for example, Exxon, Chevron, who pretty much stated that their safety standards are incredibly different than BP's standards. Tell me, Michael, what are they trying to protect?
Well, under the heat of the questioning, I think they shed some light on that. Today, the New York Times reported in emails that BP went very quickly to save money and time in putting this well together and didn't follow what the other four companies said were standard industry practices. They're trying to protect their own reputations. But we also learned at the hearing today a couple other interesting things. One is ExxonMobil's spill plan has 40 pages of how to handle the media and 9 pages dedicated to the oil spill recovery efforts. And so we also learned that walruses, which haven't been seen in the Gulf of Mexico in 3 million years, are also a part of the plans of some of the companies for the oil spill. So it's clear that the safety measures weren't in place by some of the companies, including BP, for the whole region.
Douglas, is it not just their reputation, though, that they're trying to protect here, but in fact the industry itself?
Oh, for sure. They want to distance themselves from the BP problem, and certainly they'd like to get the administration to reverse course on its poor decision to impose a 6-month moratorium. That's a decision that really does endanger the American oil drilling industry. The oil may be there in 6 months, but the business will have moved elsewhere in the globe. These companies are struggling right now. They're fighting for American jobs, and they're trying to explain to the administration that, look, you spent a year studying offshore drilling before you announced your plan. You decided we were safe. You were right the first time.
What do you think it means, and I'll throw this again at you, Douglas, for the future of the industry when it comes to offshore drilling? Because the reality is a lot of these companies can just pack up their equipment and take it off to Africa, to the coast of Africa there, where they will not be subjected to the same kind of safety regulations.
I think this is a crucial moment for the future of the industry. They are drilling in ever more difficult situations because we do not allow onshore exploration to the extent that we could. Having been driven deep into the Gulf, they are now trying to hold on to that toehold in North America. Otherwise, they're going to be drilling in Brazil. They're going to be drilling in Russia. They'll be drilling elsewhere. We'll lose not just the drilling, we'll lose all the supply chains, the manufacturing jobs and the shipping jobs that are at the core of the Gulf industry. It's a big loss for America.
Do you think that, Michael, this is a scare tactic, this talk of all these jobs moving offshore, literally offshore, I mean, to the coast of Africa, off the coast of Brazil? Is this a scare tactic, or is this, in fact, very real?
Well, look, these 5 companies today that were before the hearing, they made $239 billion in the last 3 years. There's plenty of money for plenty of jobs to make sure that they drill safely, and they figure out the technology to do so. And when 4 companies point to one company and say, we wouldn't have done this, it means that there is technology available to do this right. And so I do think it's a bit of a scare tactic, but there should be a way to drill and drill safely and to have a plan that's more than 9 flimsy pages.
Douglas, what's the purpose of tonight's primetime address to the nation?
I think it's to, number one, continue to conflate BP's real responsibilities, which are to cap this well. It's responsible for that, to finance the damages cleanup, and the administration's responsibility, which is ultimately to run the cleanup. And this is an administration that ran criticizing the Bush administration for its bungled response to Katrina, its inability to get the first responders coordinated with the state and local government, coordinated with the federal government, inability to leverage the private sector. We're seeing exactly the same problems here. They didn't learn anything, and that's not a story they like.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
On that
Trish.
note, we have a programming note for all of you. Don't miss our special coverage of tonight's prime.